internet or is the stream stuff just crashed on me? I don't know, even though I would probably need for his computer to be off Wi-Fi and his phone. Yeah, definitely. I think going forwards I should try, because this isn't the first time I've had lag issues when streaming on PS4. This wasn't my first time having this kind of lag issue, and so I don't know if it's just because I'm over Wi-Fi and I'm a good 60 feet. 60 feet, is that about right? I mean, maybe. I think 10 Mies could fit in between here and my router. And there's a stairwell in the way, so about 60 feet, I'd say. See that, I will see that I have 2 people watching because I just joined. And I see that I have a comment. Oof, yes. So maybe going forward I just need to stick to streaming games on the PC, which technically is just, it's a Mac, but it's running Windows Boot Camp, so my MacBook's is having an identity crisis and it thinks it's a Windows machine. I'm just cracking up because I just said identity crisis and it's like, no, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I see that I have 2 people watching. How are you guys doing? My MacBook is having an identity crisis and thinks it's a PC. Thank you, Windows Boot Camp. Yeah, that's just too funny. And I mean, that... I mean, you can't tell me I'm wrong. Because that is essentially what Windows Boot Camp is doing. It's making my Mac think it's a Windows machine. So technically, you can't say I'm wrong. I mean, technically you can say I'm wrong, but I mean, can you though? I see that I have 3 people watching. How you guys doing? I am having lag issues, so if I crash, then if the stream stops, then you know why. My Wi-Fi just went kaput. But yeah, so I'm going to try to stream for a bit. Although I probably do want to cut it semi-early just because this week has kind of taken its toll on me, and the weeks will still continue to be taking their toll on me. It might be May 14th. That is when I'm... And then after my May semester is done, I have a 4-week June class. And I need to submit a like hours change of how many what my time frame is to work to my work sometime soon. I've kind of taken counsel with people, mainly my parents, mainly my mother, and she says I should not submit my hour change just yet, just because this week was my first full week. So, but I do need to submit that, and when I do that, I do think I want to say that I can't work Saturdays in the future, just because Saturdays is when I catch up on everything else. If I'm behind in one small aspect, I catch up on Saturdays and Sundays. So if I'm behind on school, Saturdays and Sundays are when I do it. If I'm behind on sleep, well, I sleep in. If I'm behind on cleaning and, you know, my room's mess or my workstation's mess, whatever, the weekends is when I do that. So technically, plus also, you know, like a lot of road races and mud runs are on the weekends. And so, besides for the fact that, you know, I could just submit, like, requested time off, besides for that, I think I just want to say, I can't work weekends. And then I don't have to worry about that. But, I mean, I have the sneaking suspicion, also I have the sneaking suspicion I'm going to be working next Saturday, because of how the schedule's laid out. It seems that I don't know if they can schedule me more than every other day. I have the sneaking suspicion that because I am part-time, they can't schedule... I don't know, though. But, you know, they haven't scheduled me for consecutive days. So that kind of leads me to believe that they might not be able to schedule me consecutive days. Like I said, I don't know, and if I really want to know, I can just ask the manager. But, you know, right? Or I can ask, like, my team lead, or something like that. I can ask someone, hey, why am I only being scheduled every other day? Is it because I'm part-time, or what? I guess I would obsess over trying to figure out the right way to phrase it, and figure out how to phrase it properly there. But, you know. So I'm gonna need... Plus me wanting to select the hours I am is kind of helping me future-proof for next semester. Due to the fact that I just died for no reason. Either that or it reset me. It didn't count as a kill. Oh well. But so, yeah, I need to do that, and that's stressing me out. I kind of would want to try to do it sooner rather than later, just so that, you know, it's already done, but... Also, wait, no, I was saying about working next Saturday. Because, so far, from the 5 days that I've been scheduled, 3 this week and 2 next week, I've been working Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I've been having Tuesday and Thursday off. Making me feel like it's an every other day kind of thing, or at least that's how they have been scheduling me. I don't know if they can schedule me for consecutive days or not. Something I should try to figure out. Because curiosity and all. But so, as of right now, this coming week, because the scheduler is from Saturday, so today, to next Friday, that's the schedule that's out. On Tuesday, I will get next Saturday to the next Friday. So, but I have the suspicion that since I'm only working Monday and Wednesday, and not Friday, that they're going to make me work that Saturday. And right now, I'm only, with this week, from this Saturday to next Friday, I'm only working 10 hours. So that has me feeling that either next week, next Saturday to the next Friday, I will be working either 4 shifts, or I will be working long on Saturday, so about 8.5 hours, or 8 hours-ish, and then working 5 hours the other day, or I'm going to be working 4 hours, or 5 hours over 4 days. Or 4 days. I don't know yet, but I would like to take Saturdays off my future schedules. I mean, there is one thing that I could try to do this week to make sure I don't work next Saturday. Because technically my father is... Lag, please. My father is going to my grandparents' house to do painting and that kind of stuff for my great-grandmother's house, which is going to be on the market. But so technically I could say, hey Pops, can I come with you to the grandparents' house and help you work? And I could say that. And then I could just block off, like, next, because I think this week is my final week of school. I think. But yeah, so, you know, just your daily dose of what in the world is going through this guy's head. Or what in the world is happening in this dude's life. Yes! But yeah, as of right now, I am wanting to have... I'm sorry, I'm actually buffering. I'm trying to think, wait, what am I trying to say again? You just saw IRL buffering. Technically right now it is semi-sustainable what I'm doing, but only semi, and I'm talking sustainable for school, because with this week that has just happened, Monday, Wednesday, I didn't do any work on Wednesday because my shift started at like 11:30ish, and technically I start getting ready for work like an hour early, so I can shower, get dressed, and leave for work with plenty of time to spare. So if something runs longer, like it takes me longer to shower, longer to get ready, whatnot, you know. So Wednesday I didn't do anything, and Monday I did very little. Same thing. Same thing with Friday. Technically, I did do some Monday just because, I did stuff on Monday just because I got off at 2 p.m. But, you know, I was really drained, and I think I took, like, at least an hour nap post-work. But, like, Friday, it was from, like, 11 to 4. And I think I remember correctly, I didn't do anything when schoolwork-wise when I got back home. So, yeah. So technically, I'm wanting to change up my schedule so that, you know, I don't start working until like the afternoon, and then I get off at least an hour, if not 2 hours before closing. Preferably 2 hours, just because the last hour before closing, it's dead in the store. And I don't like it when it's dead in the store. Meaning, you know, no customers and whatnot. So, that's not my favorite time to be in the store. So maybe... like, I get off 2 hours early, but then that means that they can only schedule me 6 hours, or like, yeah, 6-7 hours, depending on when I say I can get off, or when I can work too. And then at that point, you know, it's like, the thing is, I don't know why they're not scheduling me back to back. Is it because they actually can't schedule part-timers back-to-back, or is it because as a part-timer, you know, I can only work 20 hours, so by that, you know, if they schedule me to work every single day, they can only schedule me a max. If they schedule me for 5 days, the max I can work in a single day is only 4 hours long. Is that why? So, you know, technically, if I say, okay, I can only work from this time to this time, and that time be less than 5 hours, would they then schedule me every day, every weekday? And then, you know, me wanting to have my Saturdays off. so I can actually get caught up on anything that I wasn't able to do. Although I am saying that I can work like 6-7 hours. So technically, right now I have been working, besides for this Wednesday where I was working 8.5 hours, I was working, I've been working 5.5-ish hours every day this week. Well, that I was scheduled to work, so Monday and Friday. And then Wednesday I was working 8 hours. So, you know, I have some questions about how the scheduler works. Like, why is it doing me every other day, you know? Just because, you know, if I definitely do think I want to have the schedule I'm seeing is from working from 2 p.m. to 8 to 9 p.m. 9 p.m. would be like an hour before store close, and 8 p.m. is 2 hours before. And you know, at 9 p.m. it's like a ghost town in there. And when it's a ghost town in the store, I do not like it. Just because, you know, as a bagger at the store, it's like there's no one for me to help with their groceries or to bag their groceries. And so I have to do other stuff or try to find other stuff to do, so I'm still working. And it's like not my favorite thing, but c'est la vie. Not everything's going to play out exactly how I want it to, so essentially try to take what I can get, victories I can get. So I actually like working during the busy hours better. Because, you know, if I'm rounding up the carts, then I'm constantly getting a new cart and coming back and that kind of stuff. Or if I'm, you know, bagging, then, you know, I'm never really sitting around too long before someone else is in my line. And I actually like that. I like staying busy, if I can. So, yeah. But because I feel like, besides for the fact that I actually have not selected my classes for next semester, I know very bad on me, and I need to do that, and I am planning on doing it, but I just haven't yet. Procrastination and all. But that backfired. But so, you know. But from what I've seen, most of the class time slots are in like early morning hours, not afternoon. Plus, I will be like 30 minutes away from my job instead of like 15. So it is going to take me longer to commute there. I mean, I am also planning on seeing if I can possibly request a location switch. I don't know how to do that though, but you know, stuff and things, work-related stress, and I've just started. Oof. I'm not seeing anyone over there. They could have ghosts, yeah, but I'm not seeing anyone. Ah! I was like, wait, someone here? Look the other way! Oof. But yeah, so Yeah, as you can probably tell, work is probably one of the things stressing me out the most. The way you can probably figure out what's stressing me out is figure out what I'm rambling on the most on. That's probably a surefire way to tell. Oof. But yeah. Hopefully it gets easier as time goes on. Hopefully. But yeah. You know, stuff and things. Stuff and things. Right now I'm kind of at a loss for words because other than talking about stuff relating to work and stuff relating to school, which I don't want to do because with school stuff, it's like I haven't really even looked at the stuff that I truly need to do, like the calc project, and like I have a few exams to study for. Other than that, it's talking about future school, which, besides for the fact that I haven't picked next semester's classes, but I have picked the summer semester classes, so besides for speculations about what those classes will be like, there's not much I can say there. And for work, you know, I want to choose my words carefully, just because if management were to find out that I have a channel and were to watch it and find something that I say and they see in a different context in which I actually said it, that could backfire me. Even if my intentions were this, but if I phrased it and that left my intention up to interpretation, even if my intention was not what their interpretation was, you know, I don't want to risk saying anything that, you know, can be interpreted one way or another. So, you know, I want to make sure, you know, I don't want this channel to backfire on me and actually get me fired from a job and that kind of stuff, or fired from, or blocked out from future prospects, which I don't think it will, but you know, you have to be careful. During the age of the internet, you have to be careful with what you say on the internet. Because if you say something and it's taken out of context or whatnot, it could backfire and, you know, it could really hinder you in the future. So I'm trying, with stuff relating to work, I'm trying to be careful, you know, because I don't want this channel to harm my career, kind of deal. And I feel like most people will understand that. I don't want to say too much about work. I mean, I've talked a lot on how the scheduler works and stuff like that. I mean, one thing that I've been thinking constantly while doing work, so as a bagger, one of my things that they can schedule me as is called a shark cart, which pretty much what I do is I go around the parking lot and I wrangle up any carts that are out there and bring them back to the front to be cleaned. Yeah, you can tell that I'm a huge video game nerd because literally the thought in my head is, this is the jungle, I'm a jungler, the carts are camps, I am taking the dirty carts and I'm giving them to the support, the cleaner, and if there's nothing to do and I have to go to a lane, I'm helping gank a lane. And technically, you don't really even need to twist it much for the laners, because cashiers, those are, you know, lanes to check out. So quite literally, it is a lane. So there's not much, like, jungler, you know, jungler and support, you kind of have to, you know, skew your visions, like, tilt your head, tilt your chin up, and look at it with one eye closed, and it's like, okay, if I do that, I can understand it. But with laners, you know, that's obvious. But yeah, so that's kind of been my thought process. Like, I've been, okay, let me go check red camp, then let me go down to blue camp. Or, actually, let me check top blue camp first, and I'll go down to bottom red camp. And then I will go back, check on my support, and then I'll repeat the loop, and then repeat the loop, and then repeat the loop. And any cards, if patron does not put their card in a corral, then I am ganking a kill in my jungle. There's a kill in my jungle, and I'm killing them. Or there's a player in my jungle, and I'm killing them as they're trying to, you know, I haven't really thought that one through of, like, how I word it and whatnot, but, you know, that's the premise. And then, you know, if I'm taking a card from a person, then I'm just helping out, like, for a kill. Like, it's a team fight. Yeah, that's been my thought process on it. It might be a problem. And actually, I was thinking of playing League of Legends tonight, but due to the fact that I don't want to reset my computer, because that's how you swap a Mac to a Windows. Using Windows Boot Camp, you have to actually restart your computer, hold down the, like, certain key. Alt? No, it's like in between Alt and Command, if I'm not mistaken. I think. It's like an Apple key. I think it literally is an Apple. Why can't I imagine the face of my keyboard? I don't know. I think on Windows... yeah, on, like, Windows machines, it would be the Windows key. That's the key that you need to hold down to swap it. So, as it's restarting, you just hold down the, like, the Windows key on a Windows PC, and it would then, you know, power it up differently. So... I don't really want to do that just because, you know, I have information that might or might not be saved on there, and, like, for example, one of the programs we use for my school, if I don't copy it into a separate Word doc or Google Docs, then, and I refresh the page, I lose what's written there. And, you know, some of those assignments, I'm having to write up to, like, 200 plus words, and I don't want to lose that. Of course, probably if I was thinking, oh, I want to do this, I probably would have swapped it to a word, but I was like, eh. I mean, I'm close to getting gold with this gun, and, you know, getting gold in Call of Duty is a pretty exciting thing and whatnot, so I'll just play COD instead. But with the lag, I probably should have just played LOL. But yeah. I've been wanting to play LOL. I haven't been watching too many LOL videos recently. I think my next champion will be Karthus. And I need to figure out if Karthus is viable for jungle. But once I do that, if he's viable for jungle, then I might actually try to see if I can start queuing for ranked. While I know my mechanics still need a whole lot of work, right now I have two really good junglers for me. And the thing is, they're good for me, and I need to be a bit more aggressive. Okay, right now I really only have one good jungler, and that is Fiddlesticks. Another jungler I could try to play would be Zax, and then Karthus would be the other person I could play. But of course, if I'm not on a full team of 5, then I'm not going to be guaranteed my position, and I will be queuing for my position. But technically what I could do is I could keep... words, please. I could be queuing in ranked for jungle and support, which are, I think, are two heavily sought after positions. I feel like laner positions are a lot more, like a lot more people queue for laner positions than those two. the support and jungle position. So, like, I've seen a meme on Instagram. It's like the fastest things in the world. There's a car. There's a jet plane. There's one other thing that I don't remember, and then there's queuing for jungle and support. So, you know. And the support side, the only supports I can think of that I would play right now that I have experience with would be Veneer. Or however you pronounce his name. I think it is Veneer, right? But, you know, that little Yordle. Fiddlesticks technically can. I've played Fiddlesticks in support. And I mean, he's not bad. He has fear. And an AoE silence. Like, his W does work. And his R does work. Plus, you know, if he's hiding in a bush and does any of his abilities, then it's an additional level of fear, so... Fiddlestick's support could be viable in, like, competitive leagues. I don't know. The thing is, I want to try it, but then, you know, the community in League of Legends, I won't deny it, the community can be very toxic. Like, there was one stream I was playing Tristana bot lane, and I was doing trash at Tristana bot, because I hadn't played a lane in forever. So, you know, jungle mechanics and lane mechanics are different. In jungle, you're more kind of focused, you know, roaming from camp to camp, then looking at your lanes to attack. But in lane, you know, there's the whole lane mechanic. You have to know, when do you push your lane, when do you hold back, yada yada yada. And as an ADC, Tristan is an ADC, or attack damage carry if you don't know league terms. Basically, attack damage carries, they are the kind of powerhouse of the team. Late game in team fights, they are the ones who are doing the most damage with their attacks. That's kind of why they're called attack damage carries. They're carrying everyone on attack late games. That's why bottom lane with the ADC, that's why it always has the support, because early game they are weak and squishy. They need the support to protect them. You know, it was my first time playing lane. I couldn't get Fiddlesticks jungle, or I think I wanted to try someone different jungle, but I couldn't get into jungle, and someone took the second position I was looking at. So I had to go bot lane, because I was like, you know what? I can do bot lane. I can do ADC. Yeah, no, I couldn't. And so people were literally saying at the end, good game, Tristana. And I don't think I saw bot difference or ADC difference. But we were playing normal. We were playing casual. Why are you so toxic and casual? Ranked, I get it. I get it. There's a lot at stake at ranked. You want to have a good level in ranked. You want to have a better rank. You want prestige up. Yada, yada, yada. I understand. But we're playing casual. The only thing you get from casual is blue essence on, like, level ups, I think. You don't get much win or lose in casual. Besides for XP, you don't get anything. Casual is where you can experiment around, so that when you go into ranked, you know what you're doing. Why so toxic? You know? So, the League community is, a fickle community. There are some people who are nice, and then those who are toxic. And the toxics, well, let's just say, you feel their presence often. So, you know. Oof. So, I do think I am still maybe a month or two out from playing ranked, just because right now I have one legend main, which being Fiddlesticks, and I have no one else I own currently that I'm like, okay, I'm confident to play them. It's only Fiddlesticks. And even then, you can more or less say my playstyle as Fiddlesticks is yada yada yada, stay to myself in the jungle, no one see me. And then towards late game, that's when I get a little bit aggressive. A little bit more aggressive, I should say. Not a lot, but a little. But you know, for Fiddlesticks, level 4 is when you get... For Fiddlesticks, level 4 should be when you get your E for the first time. Because with the an effective scaling order, it's you go for your W and E priority, and then you go for your no, it's WQ priority with E as your last one. So you go, you know, you're going W first, then getting your Q, then finally maxing out your E. So if I'm not mistaken, level 1 you go W, then level 2 you go E, then level 3 you go W for more faster farms, and then finally at level 4 you go Q. And Q is your fear ability, and that's the one that helps you out with ganks. But technically, Fiddlesticks does not become really strong until his level 6. That's kind of where he gets a power spike, due to the fact that one, his effigies act as scanners and disable wards in the nearby area, and also for the fact that his R is huge. If you can get outside people's vision range and then R, and if you can land the attack on them, they become feared, meaning they don't have control over their movements for a few seconds, and they run away from you. So technically, when you are someone you want, or whenever you fear someone, you want to be behind them and pushing them into your team. That's what you want to do when you fear someone that's Fiddlesticks. So like right now, Fiddlesticks I main. I want to play, get Karthus because I actually really liked his build. And I was playing him mid lane too. I think, based on my playstyle, I want to be mainly AP Legends rather than AD. Yet again, if you don't know League of Legends, basically there are two main ways to build out your character. Someone must be popping off on the team. I tried to read that comment, but I couldn't see. I couldn't see it well. But so in League of Legends, there are two ways to build out your character damage-wise. AD, or attack damage, which means on your right-click attacks, you do more damage. And then there's AP, which is on your Q, E, and W. Or Q, W, and E. And your R. Those are more powerful. AP also tends to be magic-based damage. And AD tends to be physical. And I know that there are spells, or your, you know, your E, W, and Qs, that their damage is physical and not magical. For example, Tristana, and Darius, I think. The dude with the giant axe said his W is a spin attack. But I tend to like building out AP magic builds. So Fiddlesticks, he relies heavily on AP. Karthus also heavily relies on AP and magic. So that's kind of how I like to play. So I want to find characters who have a similar playstyle, who you should build them out using AP builds. Even Ziggs is AP. Yeah, Ziggs is AP. Because he goes for the... Ooh, which one is the magic tree? one of his abilities, or one of his rune pages that you build for him, whenever he lands one of his abilities, it literally sends a magic missile to the person's position. Or to the position that they were hit, dealing AoE damage. So Ziggs is magic. So technically right now I can reliably play Ziggs and Fiddlesticks. With Karthus I haven't picked up, but I want to get better at Karthus. But I feel like I could play good as Karthus. So technically right now I have 3. The problem is, Fiddlesticks, jungle. Ziggs, mid. Karthus, I think, can be both jungle and mid. I haven't tried him on jungle yet, but I want to. I also would want to try Kindred more, but the thing is with Kindred, she's definitely a whole different playstyle from what I'm used to. She is definitely an AD build over AP. And so her playstyle is a whole lot different than what I'm, used to. So it would take me 10 hours consecutively of playing Karthus at each stage of the game. So totaling 30 hours, 10 hours at early, 10 hours at mid, 10 hours at late game, for me to be confident with her. Just because her abilities and all that, all of her kit is just so different from any other legend I've played. But, Kindred can be a support or a jungle. Mainly jungle, but she does have potential as support with her E. But, her kit's just really different because you can mark bounties, who I believe give you more benefits from completing. Plus, every now and then, especially if you're on jungle camps will be marked, and I think you get some kind of bonus for clearing out marked camps. But I've never read up on her ability page, so I don't know her passive, which is the mark ability. So, I still need research. Basically, what I'm saying is, for the characters I want to play, besides for me liking playing AP magic-based legends, I need to do a lot of research, not only watching videos and or reading. Ugh. Imagine that, me reading. But, I need to read up a lot on the characters I want to play, and then I'm also going to need to get hands-on experience. Because each legend plays just so differently. I've even tried playing a Moo jungle. He's a very tanky jungle. So I could pause. How much is a Moo? A Moo is, I want to say he's sub 1,000. He's about 1,000 or less. And yes, I just got gold. So now I'm moving on to the P90. I mean, I could go, Uzi because, no, not Uzi, I already have Uzi gold. I could go MP7 because I don't have its skulls yet. But this, MP7 I do have skulls for, but I only have 2 levels of camo in, the, reptile. So that's why it doesn't have any mods on it. I mean, it does have camo because, it's just cool. If it had... Woo! Blades. I don't think those are the knives. I forget what they're called. The sticks. But yeah, so... Something I would like to do, but I probably can't, is I would like to, play League of Legends with my friends. But I can't, because I don't think any of them want to play with me. Yeah, I know I could have ADS and I probably could have killed him, but I think I still need hipfire kills. And I was also slide crouching a lot because, or sliding a lot because I need to get crouch kills. Big Oof. I'm assuming Big Oof 2, not having friends willing to play League of Legends. Yeah. Although, there's a chance I could get my uncle involved with playing League of Legends. Just because, what was it, like 5 summers ago, maybe? He and I, every single night when we were at the beach, we played Heroes of the Storm, which is Blizzard's League of Legends. Except it doesn't, in Heroes of the Storm, at least then, you couldn't buy items, I don't believe. So, I don't think there was an item build mechanic. But yes, in Heroes of the Storm, I made the Murky. A little Murloc. And literally his kit, I just want to call it his kit, let's annoy everyone we see. Because, let's say his W was an AoE slow. Centered on himself. It was an AoE goop. So, his E was a bubble. Where he could move, and he was invulnerable to damage. And his Q, he threw a pufferfish, which exploded after a few seconds. And his passive, he plants down an egg, which reduces his respawn timer, and he respawns on his egg. Literally my guy. I loved playing him. I would throw in my pufferfish, which at a certain level, your pufferfish actually also did a little bit of your AoE W. So it had a slight AoE W impact. And then I would run in, I would W myself, and then I would just bubble away. I loved playing Murky. He was the best. The thing... Oop. Wrong gun. The thing is... I could try playing that on stream some, but why I'm playing League of Legends is because my school has an esports team for it, which is also why I could play Smite, because my school has an esports team, and I would want to be on an esports team. I know that once you get into a pro league of any game, it becomes a whole lot harder, or you might, when you play it, you're not playing it because, oh, I want to play it, it's fun. I need to play it because I'm training. And so, I've heard that, people who do that tend to stop, playing those games, or can't play other games because you need to continue to be playing your sport, because you need to be getting to the next level and that kind of stuff. But I still would want to be on my team's esports. My school's, I would want to try to see if I could get on my school's esports team, just because there is a sign-on bonus, plus I think some kind of scholarship money, which is nice, but also just being on a team in the first place is just something I've always wanted to do, especially, I want to be on a team kind of deal. I want to be able to go to tournaments, and I know technically with with esports, especially because of global panini, yes, I've watched TikTok too much. That's just what people started calling it. They've started calling it everything other than pandemic, panorama, pandemonium, panini. I think it was a whole TikTok trend where, you try to say a word without actually saying the word, and you say the next closest word to it. I think that was the trend. But yeah, if I could, I want to get on my school's team. I didn't try out this semester for it because, I just picked up League of Legends. I didn't have any time in League of Legends. And I did not want to be ridiculed and laughed at because I couldn't play or I was playing poorly. So because I didn't want to get laughed at and or have my potential times marked by, oh yeah, you were the kid who had no experience when you first came to try out. Yeah, I didn't want that. So I was like, you know what, I'm good. I don't need to try out this year. But in the fall, I think they should have tryouts again. And when they have tryouts, I'm so doing it. Also, another thing with it is, you know, they need your gamer tag and like your Discord tag and all. So that is back in the fall, I was wanting to, you know, essentially do the whole channel revision type stuff. And definitely if I get into esports, maybe I just have a separate gamer tag for like LOL and stuff like that, and is like my professional gamer tag, and I just still have it on this YouTube channel. And I can even announce that the gamer tag is the professional tag and the channel is the fun part, or something like that. I don't know how I would phrase it, but essentially that would be why. Because, you know, Pinkcraft Jr. is a little long to have on the back of, you know, like a team jersey kind of deal. It's a little long, plus it's a little bit winded. You know, people in the crowd screaming, Pinkcraft Jr., Pinkcraft Jr. You know, it's just a little long for people to be chanting. You know, who am I kidding? No one would chant for me. But, so, I want to try to find a name that's more professional, and I think I have a few names that I'm looking at, that I'm still looking at. And maybe I would just completely change the channel over to those more professional names, and just keep Pinkcraft Jr. as the mascot of the channel. And then if people ask, why is your mascot called Pinkcraft Jr.? The channel's history. That's why. Because I don't want to lose the name. For some reason, I'm attached to the name, so... but, you know... plus... You know, it would be nice if I could, you know, start being more professional and stuff, and, you know, actually getting monetized, either on YouTube or going over to Twitch and actually, you know, start getting monetized over on Twitch. You know, that would be nice. But A, that's a long way off, and B, I don't feel like the name that I currently have would work well for that regard, and whatnot, so I have... So that is kind of something that I am still looking towards. Although, that's gonna be rough, because if I have to make a new League of Legends account just to have the new name, I believe I saw someone that League of Legends did have a name change thing, doodad, like on their website or something. You can request to change your name. I feel like that is accurate information. So maybe I don't have to make a new account, because if I had to make a new account, then that means I need to get up to at least level 22, I think is my current League account, just to have enough blue essence to buy my current mains and all the heroes that I currently have. Oh, and then I would need to wait until December so I could get the Christmas Fiddlestick skin. And yes, I need that skin. I need Christmas Fiddlesticks. This gun's actually pretty accurate hipfire. Yeah, it has a... Oop, lag. Lag, please. I want it to be over here. People are coming from over here. maybe. No, guess not. But so, yeah. That is still, the whole name change stuff is still something I want to do, but it's not, it stopped being in the works a bit ago, or actively being in the works, quote unquote actively, but it's still something that I would want to do, because I feel like, you know, changing my name to something a little bit more professional might be able to help me draw in more people and more like viewer retention, because with a general search, if you just search the name outright, your first guess would probably be, oh, this is a channel for kids. And you know, my audience is not kids. Well, I do try to gear things so that, you know, the whole family can technically watch it, and like you don't have to censor words and whatnot or cover ears at certain parts. You know, that's technically not my audience. Because, like, the games I played, I'm playing Call of Duty. Technically League of Legends, I guess, doesn't really count. But I also play Tarkov and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm not playing kid games. So, you know, my audience is not 14-year-olds. My audience is older, minimum 18-year-olds, with pretty much anyone who is willing to watch my audience. Technically, that is my audience. If you can breathe and you can see, or if you can hear, if you're alive, you're my audience. That's my audience right there. Are you alive? Yes. Okay, you're my audience. If you're the undead, you're my audience. If you're a vampire, you're my audience. Pretty much anyone's my audience, really. But, you know, I'm not catering my channel to kids. Like, eventually there will be a stage, especially if I go over to Twitch, that I'm going to stop putting games into foreign languages. Like, I think Call of Duty, I just have the announcer off. In the Battlefield franchise, I have it set to French, just because I know the announcer and or characters can curse. In Tarkov, if you hit a certain button, it will make sounds, and if you're hurt, it will say words technically appropriate for the situation, but what I would not call appropriate for my channel. And just because, like, this channel, you know, I have told, like, family about it and whatnot, but mainly, if I go over to Twitch, I'm going to stop caring about if the game curses. If the game curse, that's on the game. But for now, I am still going to be like, until I make those steps, then I'm still going to try, you know, if I can make the game not curse, then I will. Plus, you know, that's just something I want to do personally, just because, you know, cursing's not in my A, normal environment, B, just repertoire. I don't curse and whatnot. And I mean, I'm not like, you used a curse word. No, I'm not like that, but, you know, if I don't, you know, I don't say it, so, but I acknowledge that people say it and whatnot, yada, yada, yada. But, you know, if I don't technically have to hear it, then I guess I will try not to hear it, kind of deal. But, you know, stuff and things. But so, yeah. If I do make that, that is still something that I am planning on doing, you know, try and make a more professional channel. Something that, you know, if you search it, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna watch it because, you know, I want, like, people also tend to watch, like, you know, if you're older, you're probably not gonna want to watch a creator who's too much younger. Like, there's probably a cutoff of an age that people of certain ages will watch, right? If you're older, you're probably going to want to watch someone who's also kind of similar age range to you, because, you know, if there's commentary, you can find it relatable. You know, if you're watching a YouTuber and they're talking about stuff in their environment, or if you want to watch stuff, you also kind of would want to try to find stuff that's relatable to you, right? So, you know, you would want to watch someone who's in elementary school talking about their elementary school problems. You would want to find someone who's within your area, stage of life, whatnot, and talking about that kind of stuff, because it's relatable to you, right? So, technically, you know, people who would find my stuff relatable, college students. That's a group of people who would find my stuff relatable, which is of an older audience. But, you know, if you saw the name, your probably first guess is going to be, oh, someone who's about, like, 16, maybe. Or younger than that, because technically, you know, you can fake your age on this app. You can check the box, I am older than this age, I can be on this app. And you can be a lot younger. For example, my first time of doing that was with the game Shadow of War. No, Shadow of Mordor, not Shadow of War. I think I do own... I think PlayStation had Shadow of War for free for a month a while back. And I think I did get it. I've never played Shadow of War. But I did play a lot of Shadow of Mordor. And that was my first M-rated game. And I was not of age... of the M-rated age. Like, I was, what, 7th grade when I played that game? Which, you know, M-rated is, what, like 18 plus? 7th grade is, what, about 14, maybe? Is it? Well, let's assume that most people, when they graduate, they're about 18 years old. If I'm saying 7th grade is about 18 or about 14 years old, 7 plus 5 would be 12, and 14 plus 5 is 19. I guess technically that's in the age range-ish. That's of the older. That would be the older ones of the grade. So, technically, yes. Technically, no. So about 13 would be about 7th grade-ish. Of course, it's kind of an age range, so you'll have some younger, some older. So, you know, I was young when I played my first M-rated game, of the younger variety. I mean, I still probably was. I think there are younger people who play M-rated games, so. But yeah. So, headshot. That wasn't a headshot? No, bummer. But still, you know. If you read the name tag without watching any of the content, then you're going to assume probably about 12-year-old age for the name. And yeah, that's not even close. That's like, in August, it'll be 8 years off. But, so, I would want to try to get a little bit more professional, because, I mean, on YouTube, there's a lot of, you know, they say don't judge a book by its cover, but with YouTube channels, sometimes you do. It's like, okay, what's the name of the channel? That sounds young, I'm not gonna watch it, right? You kind of gauge, you tend to, I feel like this is what happens, you tend to read the name, look at a few of the games that someone plays and read some of the titles of their videos and that kind of stuff before you even click on a single video. I feel like that tends to happen a bit. So, people probably don't click. I'm just making assumptions that people probably don't click on my channel just because they think, oh, it's just a young kid. And I don't want to watch someone who's young. I want to watch someone who's a bit older. I don't want to watch a 13-year-old. I want to watch someone closer to 20 plus. And I totally could be wrong. I could totally be making that up. Or I could not. I don't know. But also, what will draw people into a channel is kind of when they do stuff that complements them more or less. For example, a lot of the people I watch tend to take things from a more strategic view. Like, for example, this one creator I watch, they're playing Hearts of Iron for EU for city development games, that kind of stuff. I've watched people who've played XCOM, and not just like from a more tactical standpoint. And I'm watching, like, I did watch some people, more of the popular YouTubers play stuff like Phasmophobia, but I wasn't a big fan of how they played it, because they were reacting how they would react to normal stuff, of how their channels react to stuff. But, I want people who took the game a little bit more slow and seriously, and didn't willingly, like, do stuff that they probably would get themselves killed on, and that kind of stuff. That's why I found, like, Dusk the Viking, and I watched his videos over people, like, I actually haven't seen any of, like, Jacksepticeye and Markiplier's videos of Phasmophobia, but, like, I've seen a few episodes of, like, Omewrecker and his group play it, and that was after I saw, like, Dusk the Viking and a few other, like, another creator who was taking it from a lot more strategic point of view. And I was like, I don't like how they're playing it. It's just not the way that I prefer to play it. So, you tend to choose people to watch because it's like, how I see it is, you watch creators that you either want to, that have a certain playstyle that you like. And that playstyle tends to also emulate your own. Sometimes, not all the times. So, like, for example, if you want to see someone play a game but be more strategic and be more stealth, and the game is, like, very open-ended where you can go into combat head-on or from a stealth approach, you're going to find the creators who take the game also from a stealth approach rather than a head-on approach. Essentially, people who play with your similar playstyle. You also find creators who you like. Their personality just vibes with you and that kind of stuff. So, there's a lot of different reasons of why you watch people play games and that kind of stuff. A lot of different psychology, I guess. So, you try to find, like, I try to find people who play games from a more strategic point of view, and more, if stealth is an option, I definitely like watching stealth options. Because that's how I would handle the scenarios in the game. And plus, I want to watch people who are kind of strategic about games, and I watch people who play strategy games. That's actually why I want to play EU4 and Hearts of Iron 4. Because I've seen people play it, and it looks cool. That's also why I've done some Rebel Inc. escalations. Because the person who I watch play Hearts of Iron 4 and EU4, they played Rebel Inc. Escalation. I was like, ooh, this looks fun. Let me watch more of their videos. And then eventually it's like, let me actually try this game out for myself. Right? How I found Hunt Showdown, I don't remember how. I'm actually trying to think, how did I find Hunt Showdown? I feel like I saw some of the earlier footage before it went over to consoles. And then I was like, this game looks so much fun, I want to play it, but it's not on console. And then that just kind of took a backseat in my mind. And then eventually I was like, what about that game Hunt Showdown? Let me check on it. And then, you know, for consoles. I think that's how I found Hunt Showdown. I think. So technically Hunt Showdown was not because I watched another creator play it. One of my preferred creators play it. It's because, you know, I saw it a while back, couldn't play it because it was not on the platform I had, and then I looked at it again and found it on a platform I had. And it also helps that, you know, Hunt Showdown is a more of a me-style game, right? Stealth is technically preferred, but, you know, grand combat eventually will ensue. But stealth is preferred. So, you know, it appealed to me more because it's like, this is more of a stealth game, at least early on. Towards the end, it gets more of a just kind of run and gun. So, you know. Wait, is that Damascus? No. I forget what skin that is. Hehe. I even tracked you, like, I want to say Omnidroid, but I don't think that's correct. I feel like Omnidroid is more of... I feel like that is Overwatch. What's the giant bot that Syndrome creates from The Incredibles? Because I basically did that. I did the bot to Mr. Incredible. I tracked him as he was flying over me. And then I started shooting him. I forget the name of the robot, but I did that. I did Syndrome's bot on him. I was a Syndrome robot for a moment. Probably wasted a grenade. I mean, it hit something. But yeah, so... Where was I? I forget what I was talking about before I talked about Syndrome's robot. Why do I do that? Hello. Good night. I think Neon Pink is kills after reload. And I want to say Neon Pink is the end of the camo tree. Oh, and also that's why I played Civ 6. Because I saw the person who made me play, or got me to play Rebel Inc. I believe I want to say the name correct. Let me actually go to my sub page. Scroll down, yada yada yada. Provis. For some reason I thought gaming was in. And so yeah, he was doing a campaign of one of the campaigns I remember. I don't know if he did a prior campaign that I watched of Civ 6, but he was playing as Byzantium. And so I was like, ooh, Civ 6, that looks fun. And of course, you know, I was watching him, and it's like, he's he's definitely one of the creators I like to watch because he takes things from a more strategic thing. He's a person who's played Rebel Inc., Hoi 4, which is Hearts of Iron 4, that's just the short term for it, and EU 4. He's also played Plague Inc. That's another thing that he's big into, or that's kind of the big presence on this channel. And also a while back, which I think is why I started watching him, is because of the... Oh, it's another game similar to not Rebel Inc. Plague Inc. But there's a life campaign and a death campaign, and you can either cure patients with unknown diseases that you have to diagnose and whatnot, or you can give the patients those diseases and try to kill them. Now I'm curious. It's gonna bug me. Now I have... It's bugging me now. I guess I could just go to playlist instead of scrolling through videos, because it was a while ago that he played it. It's gonna kill me! What is the name of it? BioInc Redemption. Found it eventually. He played the game BioInc Redemption, and I think that's where I found him. I think that was of course, it was most likely after he played it, and I just stumbled upon it. I don't know how, I don't know what I was watching that put that in the recommended feed of the video. I don't remember. Because, I mean, it was probably at least 2 years ago that I saw BioInc Redemption. And that was like a whole year before I watched him, or subscribed to him, so... yeah. See, there's actually been multiple occurrences of planting the seed and then sprouting years later. For example, me and my marathon. I don't believe I've ever told the story of kind of why I did the marathon, or kind of what inspired me to do the marathon. Besides for the fact that I was doing mud runs, and I was like, ooh, Disney Marathon. Or no, Disney Marathon led me to the mud runs. Because I had some run-related stuff more or less searched on Instagram. And so Instagram's algorithm... Excuse me. Instagram's algorithm suggested give me an ad for Spartan. And that's what got me into mud runs. Let's see. Besides for the actual thing that technically got me into it, or resurfaced it, is what I'm going to say. Resurfaced it for me. That was an Instagram post on the Disney page for the Run Disney weekend. But it was way, way long time ago. In about, what, 5th grade? 5th grade, I was at this brand new school. Literally me and 3 other kids. My mother was the first teacher at the school. The first full-time teacher. The school had a few, like, 2 other part-time teachers, but my mother was the first full-time teacher there. Our headmaster... We didn't have a principal at the time. We had a headmaster. Now we do have a principal. I don't know if we... I don't know if that job title got retired or whatnot. I forget. I don't know. Because... Weird. But so, my headmaster at the time, she went and did the Run Disney. I want to say she did the half marathon. I mean, I can confirm because I still have a vivid image, or semi-vivid image of the medal in my head. So I could look up, see if I can find the medals from that specific year's Wine and Dine Festival. I believe it was Wine and Dine. And I can figure out what medal that was linked to. I want to say it was half marathon. I think most likely it was half marathon. But, you know, the headmaster came back from doing the half marathon, and she gave us all... Okay, I was wrong. It's zebra pink, not neon. No, wait. Where's Neon? Oh, Neon ping. Okay, okay, I was close, but not quite. But whatchamacallit. So my headmaster came back from doing the Run Disney half marathon. I'm just going to upgrade and say she did a half marathon because I don't know. I don't think I'm that curious. I'm going to that's always been my memory. It has always been a half marathon, so I think it was an actual half marathon. The medal was the Tower of Terror, and it was actually spring loaded, so you could pull it up and then let the spring go, and the cart would fall back down. That's the medal. And literally that ticked off like a lot of the boxes for me to want to do something. Ooh, shiny, cool, collectible. Medal, I want to get more medals. Disney. And I mean, you know, in my head it's like, oh, all I have to do is just go this amount of distance in a certain amount of time? That's easy. Ha ha ha. It's not. And so, you know, for a time I fantasized about myself. I didn't have any, like, visions, or, like, in my head, it was not an image of me on the course. It was normally, like, the night before the race in the hotel with my family, that kind of stuff. That's normally in my head. But it's like, you know what? Because the thing is, you know, my sister, at that time, I think she was about to end her gymnastics career, or I think that was like a year later, or ish. I forget when my sister ended her gymnastics career. Eventually, she was like, it's enough. I don't have the full story in my head right now of why she stopped, but there's, like, you know, it was more or less eating away at her, with gymnastics, plus the coaches being rough, because, I mean, that's, if you want to train, especially, like, for a sport like that, you kind of can't be light, but, you know, she was eating up a lot of her, days. I think even, it's not my story, so I don't really have, it's not mine to truly tell, but, you know, she's no longer doing gymnastics, but, like, you know, apparently she would actually come home at night crying, or crying at night, because of how stressful it was or something. I forget why, but, you know, she eventually was like, it's been a good run, but I'm done. I want to say that kind of rhymed, but I don't know if it actually did or not. But, you know, so, my sister actually went to, a private school with a university model, which she and I graduated from, because of her gymnastics schedule. So, technically, if it wasn't for her gymnastics, I would, not have met my friends that I have now. Because that's where I rolled out to after I went to the specialized school. But, so, where was I going? Oh, so, you know, my sister was doing gymnastics, meets and stuff like that, and she was coming back home with medals hanging around her neck and that kind of stuff. And I guess, technically, that might have actually made me jealous. I would never, I would not say I was actually jealous, but, you know, it's like, ooh, shiny, pretty medal, I want my own. I want to earn my own. And I think this was technically before I was doing Taekwondo. Which actually I was able to medal in Taekwondo a bit. I wouldn't say a whole lot, but I definitely do have a medal or two in my closet from Taekwondo. But so, you know, in my head, it's like, oh, it's really hard to get a medal. And it's like, oh, I only have to go a certain amount of distance to get a medal? That's easy. He would later find out that it is not easy. But, I mean, you know. So my headmaster planted in the idea that I could get a medal through running. Plus, there were races at Disney. And that, more or less, I could medal. And then, for years, it went under the radar, right? I forgot about running races and Run Disney and that kind of stuff. Disney races. And then, finally in, like, maybe 2018. Yeah, 2018. No. Yes? Yeah, 2018. Like, summer of 2018, I'd say. I saw... Or was it earlier? Disney medals from the virtual series has a date on it. Because I did the virtual... No, that would have been summer of 2019. Okay, so 2018, I saw some kind of Instagram thing of Run Disney. Oh, it was most likely January of 2018, because that's when the Disney Marathon is. So they must have, like, either Disney Food blog, which I follow, or the Disney Parks blog, or just, like, you know, the Disney World Instagram pages. They posted something about Run Disney on. And because of that, it was like, ooh, Disney race, marathon, medal, ooh. And I was like, I want to do it. And my parents were like, okay, but first you have to train up to do it. You can't just go to a marathon. So first we want you to run a 5K, then we want you to run a 10K, then half marathon, and then finally you can go for your marathon. And so in the 2018 fall, I did my Thanksgiving of 2018. I did a 10K near my grandparents' house Thanksgiving Day, and then that 2019, spring of 2019, there was a half marathon near my family, not too far from my family, and that's when I did my first half marathon. And then after the half marathon, that's when I got the advertisement for Spartan. It's like, which Spartan race is for you? And so I took the little quiz because I was like, Spartan race? Wait, a race? Medal? And so, you know, I took the quiz, figured out the race, and then I learned what mud runs are. And how did I still kill him? He really should have killed me. No one died behind me either. I want to change gun loadouts because I just finished Reptile. Underbush. And let me mod it. So, where was I saying? I'm sorry, I'm trying to backtrack and figure out what I was saying. Words, please. So yeah, then I figured out about Spartan races, and that made me look up mud runs, and then from there, you know, I found out of more mud runs. I found the big three mud run companies, you know, Tough Mudder, Savage, and Spartan. Those are the big three. Spartan and Tough Mudder, I do believe, are international with, I did say Spartan, right? Spartan and Tough Mudder are international, with Savage Race being, I think, states only. don't know. I haven't seen them say anything about international savage races. But so, and then that fall 2019, I did a Tough Mudder, and I did a Spartan, along for a mud run that was local to my grandparents. Almost. But so, yeah. So technically, that's my whole running history in a nutshell. And not a nutshell, because that took me like 20 minutes to explain. That was not short at all. Sorry about that. I mean, technically I have to entertain you guys one way, so storytelling is it, right? But yeah, so, yeah, all that to say, one little spark kind of ignited me wanting to do, like, runs. Because I acknowledge that doing runs is really hard. Running races is really hard. But something stuck with me, right? Something just keeps me coming back to do it again and again. Even though it's a lot of work, and even though I don't train for it as much as I should, bad on me. Still something keeps me wanting to do it again, even though it's like, oh, I didn't train for that hurts so much. I want to do it again. It's like, why? That hurt you so bad. But you want to do it again. Why? But I do, right? There's something that's just like, yes, more. Maybe it's my goblin-like tendencies. Ooh, pretty. Ooh, shiny. Me want medals. Me fill my room with medals. And the thing is, if I had learned about mud runs earlier, I would have tried to do, like, one of the... If I knew about mud runs sooner, and Tough Mudder was having a world's toughest in my area, have done it. And I still want to do the world's toughest. Basically, that's Tough Mudder's 24-hour event. You stay on their course for 24 hours. It's a 5-mile course. And the winner, quote unquote, I don't know if you actually get a medal from it, even. I think if you... Do you get a medal? I'm trying to think. You might get a medal. You might not, obviously, but you might actually get a medal. Tough Mudder is one of the companies, or besides for like local races, Tough Mudder does not give you a medal for finishing. They give you a headband, though, but not a medal. But essentially, Toughest Mudder, the world's tough... Okay, so there is a difference between Toughest Mudder and World's Toughest. Toughest Mudder is only 12 hours. It's only 12 hours. I think it's from like 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., so you're running throughout the night. But World's Toughest Mudder is from 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. So you're running through the day, then through the night. And yes, if I had a Toughest or World's Toughest option, training, what's that? I don't care. I'm gonna do it. I'll train for it, of course, but I want to do it. And so I don't know if you get a medal for doing it or whatnot, but I think in the last World's Toughest that they done, because they haven't done their World's Toughest this year, it's nowhere near me, so I can't do it, because I would have to be buying hotel tickets, airline tickets most likely, because I think it's too far away for me to logistically drive in a short amount of time. Like, maybe the travel time by driving would be a full day of driving. Or, no, wait, more, because I want to say that this year's World's Toughest is out in, like, California or something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head, but they don't have a toughest or world's toughest near me. World's toughest is only once a year type deal. So, you know, yeah. Or are they moving it to Texas because 2020 was supposed to be in Texas? 2020's World's Toughest was supposed to be in Austin, Texas, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, if I had the chance to do a toughest or World's Toughest, I'd totally do it. Pit Crew, I don't know how I would do that. Because, well, I do have friends that I would believe would probably want to try, would be able to come out and do it. I don't know if they would. I mean, they probably would, but, I mean, you're also asking someone to be out in the middle of nowhere for 24 hours. Technically, I think Pit Crew can come and go as they please, more or less, but you're still asking people to spend a whole day of their time to just sit and watch, really. And some of the times, there's nothing to watch, because there might not even be a spectator area nearby and whatnot. I mean, technically, so, in the last World's Toughest that there was, I think someone went around the course, if I'm not mistaken, 21 times, or 105 miles in the span of 24 hours. So obviously I can kiss being number one out the window. Well, I mean, I'm probably not going to be able to do it until minimum 2022. Because that's the next time that there's a chance for Tough Mudder World's Toughest to come to me. But most realistically, it's probably going to be closer to like 25 or later. So maybe, I mean, I need to get a whole lot better and be able to go a whole lot faster, a whole lot quicker and whatnot, but that is something I would want to do, plus yada yada yada. Maybe by the time World's Toughest comes to me, I actually could do 105 miles in 24 hours. Ooh, wait. The question is, will they have the obstacle hold my wood in the 5-mile loop? That is the worst obstacle there. It's only about 200 meters long. So it's not that long. But the problem is, you have to hold a giant piece of wood and go the 200 meters with it. It's just like Spartan's sandbag carry or bucket carry. It's just like that, except it's a giant piece of wood. It's a giant log. Like, I've done a mud run recently with a similar obstacle, and the log that I had to carry, and I picked the log that I thought was the best, because it looked semi-skinny, but it was way over my head. It was probably about 7 feet long. I'm only 6 foot. It actually might have been closer to like 7.5. So, go a certain distance while carrying the object. It's not easy, it's hard. Obviously. But so if that's in the rotation, then that's gonna be so rough. Was probably the most draining obstacle that I've done. Yeah, I'd say so. Any obstacles where you're having to hold additional weight is rough. The mud run that I did earlier this year, I had a 20-pound rucksack on, and that was brutal. Like, the difference between the mud run I did last weekend and the mud run I did like a month ago, the 20-pound rucksack, I had to stop towards the end. The thing is, the mud run I did last weekend was 10 miles. Before that, it was only 6 miles. that rucksack makes the difference. I literally had to stop a lot of times after not completing that much distance with the rucksack on, just because I don't know what it was, but like it just winded me. It wasn't like my my shoulders were sore and whatnot, but it wasn't like, I guess it was that, oh, my shoulders just need a break for a minute. But like it made the rest of like my body fatigued. So I had to take ample breaks during the 6-mile course because it's like, oh, this bag's so heavy. Let me just take a second to sit down. But, so during the 10K course, the 6-mile course, I stopped and sat down for a lot of time. But for the 10-mile course, I kept moving. Granted, yeah, my pace was sluggish. I think it was about 5 hours, which is what I was expecting. But, you know, I kept moving. I never, besides for taking a second at a water stop, I kept moving. I never stopped in the course besides to take water. So I never stopped and sat down. I always stood standing, even at water stops, and I just kept moving. So 20 pounds additional weight on your back makes a lot of difference. And technically what I would want to try to see is if instead of having a rucksack, if I could do like a plate carrier. Like a weighted vest. Why? Because I think weight distribution would be a lot better if instead of it all being on my back, if there could be some like on my chest and then some on my back, kind of distributing the weight of it. I feel like that would help out a bit. Because technically it wouldn't make it as heavy. I mean, it would still be heavy, but I mean relative. You know, maybe. I don't know. Also, I see that you guys can't see anything, so this is going to be the final round. The enemy team, it is Hardpoint. Yeah, Hardpoint, the enemy team has close to 200. They have 195. We have 186, and there's 2.5 minutes left on the clock. So, I don't know what has happened with the visuals, but my lag isn't. I don't have that much lag, so that's good. I mean, I guess it is good that I have good stories to tell because you guys aren't seeing much. So, why do you come to the stream? For the people who come to my stream. Why do you come to the stream? I guess stories. Gameplay, stories, but at least it's something. At least the stories are better than nothing. Oof. But yeah, so there's actually one race I've learned about like in 2020, I guess. No, 2019, I think. In my state, it's called like a death race. And I think the span that's allowed is 24 hours on the course. And I think it's 100K, so about 70 miles of a course. And it's in my state. And we're in kind of the, like, a mountainous section of my state. And, yeah. So you have to make certain distance stretches before a certain time. So there are checkpoints, so it's not, because it does span like 70 miles, you know, you have to make it to a certain point by a certain time, or else if you're slower and you can't make it to the point, you get cut off the course. Uh, I kind of want to do that, but it's also very daunting. The thing that I want to do, though, is the Battle Miles Death Race. I want to do it. The thing is, it's an unknown distance, an unknown, like, mission. I will get off queue. We lost by what's that? 13 points? No, yeah, really 13 points? No, 23 points. Yeah, that's right. So I'm out of queue now. I should have looked at my KDA and whatnot, but yeah, I don't care. But so with Battle Miles, each of their race, they have a different like mission or obstacle, kind of. So they're different distances, but what makes each of the different distances special is, so for example, in the Genesis series is what it's called. There's a 2 mile, 5 mile, and a few other milers, a few different miles. But with it, each time you finish a mile, you have to do like 10 push-ups or something like that. Then you have their Tribute series, which you have to do the course 5K, 10K, and half marathon with a rucksack. And I think it does have to be a specific weight. But no push-ups, luckily. I would probably do the Tribute series because no push-ups. And then finally you have their kind of specialty series with stuff like Downfall, Ascension, and Siege. And they might have a few others there as well, but I don't know those. Ascension, Downfall I'm not sure, but Ascension, it's only 8 miles. And I know I just said only, but for people who've run and do distance, or at least like go distances like I have, it doesn't matter your time if you just kind of go out, travel longer distances. It's like saying only 8 miles kind of makes sense. Saying only a distance kind of makes sense because if you've done it before, it's like, okay, I kind of know what I'm expecting with the distance, but still, you know. But so Ascension, I believe each mile you increase your push-up amount by 10. So on mile 1 you do 10, at 20 you do 20. I said mile 20. At mile 2, you do 20. At mile 8, the final mile, you do 80 push-ups, if I'm not mistaken, and or burpees. I forget what Downfall saying is, but Siege, another one that I would do, want to do. It's only 10K, so it's only 6 miles. But you have to wear a 20-pound rucksack and, like, a gas mask. That's technically what it is, but, like, a respirator. I think respirator is allowed, which is what I have. Or like any kind of breath trainer, like altitude trainers. So something that restricts your airflow. And it's 6 miles. That would be one that I would deem doable for me. Besides for the air restriction thing Madudad. Besides for, I don't know if a respirator works because I have a respirator. I don't have a gas mask or anything like that. Besides for that, probably putting being a spanner in the works. Besides for that, I think it's doable. I need to train a lot more because I'm definitely in a worse shape than I was in during that phase where I was like, ooh, I should do this, I should do that race, I should do this race. I'm definitely in a lot worse shape and I need to do more training and yada yada yada. I need to get back into yada yada yada, right? And then finally, you have 2 more. You have the death race. I want to say it's just those 3 categories. And then you have the death race, which is literally everything about it is disclosed. I don't, besides for the fact that I can see people's finish times, that's all I can see. I don't know how long the course is. I don't know how many miles you're running. And I don't know what you do at the end of each mile. And that's what scares me, right? Because I've seen people's times for it, and I don't remember the time range. Because I think the fastest person did like maybe 3 hours, and the slowest maybe did like 6 or 10 hours. So, that time range, it's like, okay. But the problem is, how far are you going? And then at the end of each mile, what are you doing? Those are my two big questions. And then, oh, also with Death Race, you either get the medal or you don't. And I don't know what happens if you fail the Death Race. Like, do you have to send back your medal? I don't know. Or do you have to submit your time, then they send you the medal? Because I have the feeling, I thought I read somewhere that it comes with, like, a red envelope. And in the envelope is your instructions for the race. And then in another envelope in the same package is your medal. I want to say that's what happens. I don't know for sure. But I think medals get sent out like a monthly basis at the end of the month, maybe. I don't know. I haven't read up on Battle Miles in forever. Also, with Battle Miles, the saying is, everyone, if you complete the race, you get a medal. But if you do the fastest, you get an extra first place medal. And or if you do the most amount of times. Because there are some, like, X miler where it does not have a mile requirement. I don't know if it has a mile minimum, but it doesn't say you need to go this many miles. It just says, do the most miles, each mile you finish, do 10 push-ups. Right? It's something like that. Of course, it could be 10 burpees or push-ups. I don't remember. I haven't looked at Battle Miles in forever, but I want to do one. And then finally, you have the Impossible Race. And it's the same thing with Death Race. But the thing is, you also need to do every single Battle Miles in a calendar year to do the Impossible Race, which includes Death Race. Oh wait, I was going to mention one other thing about Death Race. So, if you fail it, you join the Unalive crew. The crew of the Unalive. But if you win it, you're a survivor. And so that's kind of cool. I think. And then finally you have the Impossible Race. Which apparently, if you can finish it in its entirety, if you can do it, I think it's like any percent of it. If you do 100% of it, your name gets added to the back of a medal, I feel, that other people get. I haven't read up on it in a while, but supposedly the Impossible Race is so hard that you cannot complete it. So, it must be, let's just say, run 30 miles. Each time you finish, do this exercise. So let's say mountain climbers with burpees, with sit-ups, with jumping jacks, yada yada yada, other exercises. Do all of this, all 30 miles with a 20-pound rucksack and a gas mask, and each time you finish a mile, increase the set of exercises by 5. I don't know. Yet again, it's the same thing with Death Race. Impossible Race is you don't get to see the instructions until you actually run it, until you pay for it. But the good thing is, as long as you do any percent of it, so even if you get 5% done with it, you still finish the Impossible Race. You still get the medal. But only the, few who, I think, this is what I read, and I could have been reading it wrong, and or they could have changed things. So, because I read it, last year, or I read it whenever it first popped up, but I haven't done my research into Battle Miles in forever, so I could be wrong. Yeah. It is, hard. And I'm crazy enough that I would want to do it. I want to do Battle Miles, because, if I can complete it, I get a medal. And the thing is, with a lot of them, it doesn't care about your time. The only reason you would care about your time is if you want to get first place. And I mean, yeah, you should be striving for the best one, blah, 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 right? I could say I don't really care about that. As long as I finish, that's all I care about. So if it takes me, let's see, an hour 30 minutes. No wait. What have I been able to do? No, an hour and 30 minutes has been about my 10K time, especially when I was in shape. No, actually, that was slower than my time. But so, if it takes me an hour and 30 minutes to do a 10K, so be it. If it takes me 6 hours, so be it. The only difference is, I would want to finish faster because I would want to get on with other stuff that I have to do for fun. Right? While doing it for several long hours would be fine. You know, the faster you finish, the, like, more of the day you have, right? That kind of stuff. So, that's the only thing that would be kind of try and keep me up to speed and try to keep a pace. But yeah. So, I actually should see if I could do a battle mile sometime this year. I'll have to look into it and see if there's one that I want to do and whatnot. Yada, 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 of course. But I'm going to wrap up because it is 12:15 or 12:16 my time, and I am, not going to lie, getting tired, and I want to go to bed kind of deal. Whatnot, I have stuff to do in the morning, yada, 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 right? But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please leave a like. If you want to see more from me, please subscribe. And to stay up to date with what I do, please ring that notification bell. Thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, take it easy.